Hi, Tim Roye for Warriors.com. My pleasure to welcome Larry Riley, Warriors General Manager, to talk about the draft. It's your first draft as the head guy for the Warriors, and have to be exciting and anxious and all of that.
Well, it's a challenge, and I think sometimes there's a healthy anxiety that goes along with this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's something that we feel that we're pretty well prepared for right now. But draft day, it'll bring up a little bit of nerves and this and that and the other because of things that might happen at the end. But we think we're well prepared and have a level of comfort with it.
Nothing is set in stone, but at this point, getting ready for a draft or just a couple of days away, are you pretty certain what's going to happen above you 1 through 6?
Not for sure. What's happening is that it's getting harder and harder all the time to determine what the teams in front of you are doing. Years ago, you used to be able to do that, and it's gotten harder. And we have some degree of certainty as to what's going to happen, but there are a couple spots that I'm not sure where it's going to go.
You've talked a lot about the Warrior needs for this year. If you could, just reiterate them one more time.
Well, I think that there's 2 areas that we could use some help in. One is the area of having somebody with an NBA body that's ready to play. I used the term beef a couple of times when I've been talking. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody with a wide body, but it has to be somebody with a body that's ready to play in the NBA. And I think that would be helpful to us because we get some rebounding out of a guy, get a little bit better defense out of someone, and possibly some scoring either on the block or at the elbows. And so I think those would be helpful to us. And then the other one is a point guard situation. We could use a point guard that would help our team as far as the depth that we have there. And either one of those 2 areas would be helpful to us.
Now, of course, at 7, you don't know if that point guard or that power forward is going to be the one you want or the one you think is worthy of that pick. So if you go best available there and it's not that kind of a player, do you have to address those needs in other ways?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where we would probably look at doing some work over the summer. Whichever way we go, the opposite end of it, if we take a power forward or a guy with some beef, then we probably look to shore up our point guard position over the summer. If we take a point guard, then we're probably looking for one more guy to play around the basket.
And there's a lot of point guards in this draft. You're going to be looking at a couple of good ones.
There are a number of point guards. This draft is heavy in point guards. It may not be the greatest draft from top to bottom, but certainly there are a number of point guards in this draft.
Do you expect a lot of trades?
Actually, at one time I thought there might be more than usual, the kind of trades being that one guy picks for another guy and you see something go on the board that you say, gee, that doesn't make sense. Well, and then all of a sudden you find out there's been a trade. I think there'll be a few of those. I don't know that anybody is actually just going to trade their pick for a player. I know there's great talk about that with one team, but I don't see a lot of that.
Now at this point, when you're down to a number of hours, what kinds of things are you doing? Are you going back? Do you take one last look at the film, or?
Yeah, this is the finishing touches time. A lot of work has been done. Even when the college basketball season is over, there's a great deal of work that has been done. And then May and June are times where you do watch film and you finish off this process. We got to interview a number of players in Chicago and had a chance to visit with them there. And so then we brought in a number of players as well. And that kind of finishes things off. And the last 2 or 3 days here, we'll be going back over film and we'll be meeting as a staff.
Tell me a little bit about the rest of this draft. There's obviously a lot of players with potential in this draft. Is that the kind of guy you have to kind of look for? Is that kind of guy, or do you have to go for a player maybe that has more of an immediate impact?
What I'll do is with our staff, we will look at who might be able to play right now. However, if there's a guy that's going to take some time and we could project him to be a star, you'd go with a star.
Hardest part of your job?
Hardest part of the job is projecting what young people are going to do.
No question about that. Larry Riley, best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Thursday.
All right.
Hi, Tim Roye for Warriors.com.